Hi, Elle Ingalls here at elleingles.com and coming to you from Naples, Florida, where I'm working with an incredible coach, a coach that I've been with for a couple of years now. I'm the oldest student in the room as far as someone longevity-wise who's been working with the same coach. And that it's been providing a lot of insights for me. I've been here many times, but every time I'm learning something new. And there's one of my new friends, Sally. Nice to see you on tonight. I want to talk tonight with you about self-sabotage because I work with a lot of real high achievers. People who have a mission, a goal, they're working towards something, whether they're a student athlete, whether they're a high achieving student, or they're a professional or a business owner. So someone who's really got an idea of where they want to go, but there's just something blocking them. And I see some people on. Ryan is on, and Dale. So nice to have you here. So a lot of times my clients will say to me, I'm my own worst enemy. Have you ever said that? Is that something that you've said? Have you ever said, I self-sabotage? Like I set myself up for disaster? These are things that I hear people tell me when they are, they're really coming clean about how they treat themselves. And so one of the things that I do with my clients is I really empower them to start to become their own best friend, their own advocate, the person, the best cheerleader for themselves. So a lot of us are doing these small things, and they're very small, but they're very impactful, that really pull the rug out from under us. We will say things about ourselves, we'll describe ourselves in certain ways that are self-deprecating, and it can be kind of funny, but self-deprecating humor, can be really funny and kind of break the ice. But at the same time, sometimes we're saying things about ourselves, maybe out loud or maybe in our mind, that are sabotaging the very things that we want to have happen in our lives. I've done this so much, especially as a business owner and entrepreneur. I hear something come out of my mouth. I'm like, why did I just say that? And I'm going to tell a little story just to illustrate. It's a story not very many people know, and it's rather a revealing story. It's rather an embarrassing story, but I want to share it because I was reacting to something that happened to me in a way that was actually cutting me off at the knees. And so back in 2012, I was building a really amazing website with a web team out west. And if you would have known many of the authors that they already had, and I was going to be their stress queen. They loved my videos. They loved what I had put together. And they're like, wow, in about 6 months' time, you're going to be sitting on some tropical beach somewhere, sipping whatever, because this is amazing and it's going to sell. So I was all in. I invested an incredible amount of money with these people to make this happen. And 2 weeks before my site was supposed to launch, I couldn't upload my graphics to the site. And I thought, well, what's going on here? This is rather strange. And come to find out that this company went bankrupt and took all my money and never delivered a website. And we had made a lot of life changes. My husband had actually left his job in order to go all in working on this. So I can't even tell you what that was like. It was so demoralizing to me and scary. And here's one of the things I used to say. I don't say it anymore, but I'm sharing it tonight because I'm sharing how we self-sabotage ourselves and can be our own worst enemy. I started saying this: play with the big boys and you can get burned. Now, I was playing with some big boys, okay? And I got really burned. But that phrase, it really harmed me. It kept me in kind of a stuck spot. I'm going to say it's kept me in a stuck spot for a long time. So yes, I've done a lot of really great work and I've worked with a lot of wonderful people, but my business isn't where it should be. I'm still like, come on, working so hard and learning how to do it right, investing and making this happen, learning from my coaches. But that was such a huge blow, and saying that, play with the big boys, you can get burned was the wrong thing to say. And someone gave me some hearts on that. Thank you so much. Oh, I see who it is. Thank you, Leela. So I was recently at a retreat and I shared this story and someone says, well, what do you say now? And this leaped out of my mouth. I said, I am one of the big boys now. And thank you, my dear. She says, I look beautiful tonight. And she's seen me in every kind of way. So, but yeah, I said, I am one of the big boys now. So I am. I am one of the best. Yep, I was at the retreat, Leela. You got it. I'm one of the top stress management coaches in the world. And I'm a best kept secret. And there's going to be some people who figure that out. Certainly some of the clients, I'm a big girl now, yeah. Certainly some of my clients know their lives have been transformed. People in Africa, people in Hawaii, people in England, people all over the world have worked with me already. And, I was just thinking about one of my clients who made such incredible breakthroughs in so many interesting little ways, but it totally changed the trajectory of this person's life. She said, top stress management coach in the world. Not one of them, the best. Thank you. It's one of my biggest cheerleaders there. And she should know we talk every single day. So how are you self-sabotaging? What things are you saying about yourself that really aren't true? They're really not true, but you've gotten into such a habit and pattern of saying them that you don't even know that you do. I was thinking too about, it's not just the words we say, but it's actions too. So I will see people doing repeated actions that are really self-sabotaging. They're not helping. They're not helping you move forward. And yet we repeat them over and over and over again. We do that with the relationships, how we treat each other. We say the same darn things over and over and over again that are annoying or not particularly helpful. We've got such a pattern. So one of the things my coach taught me a year ago is this idea of a pattern interrupt. So how can you interrupt? My success and future success is grounded and pressure-free. Leela, you're amazing. I hope everybody reads that. Somebody just gave some love on that. I love it. So, where was I? You need to pattern interrupt. You need to take a look at what is it you're repeatedly saying about yourself or thinking about yourself. Here's another one. I used to say to people, oh, I'm not at all visual. I'm a musician. I hear really well. I smell really well, but I don't really see things. That's such a lie. I actually am triggered by visual clutter. So I've been surrounded by a lot of really amazing visual artists. My sisters are both amazing visual artists. My husband is. One of my sons is incredible. Two of my sons are incredible visual artists. My other son can make amazing sports uniforms if he comes on here. He knows it. And so it's my wonderful art teacher says, you are an artist. We all are. All human beings are artful, full of art, full of wanting to express ourselves. And it's funny, some of my clients, when they become pressure-free, they unlock some of their artistry that they have locked since maybe elementary school. It unlocks, it unfurls. So your self-sabotage and your limiting thoughts and patterns are actually preventing you from allowing some of the most beautiful parts of you to be accessed, including by the people that love you. So it's time to stop hiding. Leela says, I sing more. I love that. It's time for us to stop hiding. It's time for us to pattern interrupt, break the patterns. One of the things I do is I help people stop overreacting. That's the thing that causes the stress hormones to go out. Where are you overreacting? Where are you blocking your very own success? So when you can start to really take a look at that, really dig in and say, wow, you probably don't even hear what you say. Hey, Tony, nice to see you here. Hi, Jodine. Tony's an amazing speaker. I've heard him speak. So you've got these patterns, these things that keep us blocked from our full and true potential. So when you can start to even get a little grip on just one of them, just twist it a little bit. I have the dial tool that I share with my clients. You just twist it a little bit. It's like, okay. So my son just said, yes. Okay. So I'm getting all these messages from people. So cool. I just gave an amazing strategy session, by the way, to a young runner tonight. Oh my goodness. So exciting to work with so many different kinds of people and help them unlock their full potential. So if you want to go deeper and you want to unlock, you know that you're self-sabotaging. Maybe you're sabotaging your intimate relationships. Maybe you're sabotaging your job promotion or your business. Maybe you're sabotaging, if you're a student, your test scores or your relationships, with peers and with friends. Where are you self-sabotaging? What are you saying to yourself that is not true, that's blocking you from your full potential? When you can really dig that out, when we can really uncover, it's usually just a few phrases that we're so used to repeating. Like I used to say, I'm not visual. I'm not really visually gifted. It's not true at all. So they're minor little patterns, or they could be bigger. Like when I said, play with the big boys and I got burned. No, that's not true. I learned a lesson, and yes, I lost a lot of money, but it made me stronger. It made me had to go in. And Leela says, I'm going to live so long without stress hormones. I know. You just improve the quality of your life so significantly. So significantly. Every negative thought, if you're an unhappy person, every negative thought that you have actually destroys the telomeres of your chromosomes. You change your DNA. It's nasty, and people have no idea. In fact, if you see the one go down through my feed and the one on Sturgeon Bay, I talk about your telomeres and your chromosomes and change on your DNA just by having negative thoughts. So if you're in anxiety or depressed, if you're having negative thoughts, you're affecting your very DNA. And it's amazing. We actually have a rather playful conversation going on with our DNA. It's not fixed. We have a lot of control. People don't understand that. They think you're just given this set of genetic material, but it changes so much. And our mental health is a huge predictor of what will happen in our life. It's a huge predictor of what will happen with our relationships, a huge predictor of what will happen in our jobs, in our careers, and whether or not we can even hang on to our jobs or careers. It's huge. And so where are you self-sabotaging? And Leila says we're creating superhuman DNA. I truly do. We have a lot of women on here. Any guys on here? Sorry, you're going to hear this. But I was just sharing, someone asked me a question, and I shared with them that prior to Pressure Free, I had dense fibrous breast tissue, which is a precursor to breast cancer. I lost my mother to breast cancer. My grandmother had breast cancer. In 2010, when I created Pressure Free, and I actually started using it on myself, in 8 weeks' time, my breast tissues had completely changed. Completely. No more dense fibrous tissue. So I can still remember sitting on my bed and musing and thinking, did I just save myself? Or at least gave myself quality life for years far beyond what I really thought was going to happen to me? I have no idea, because I know I did a lot of damage to myself prior to 2010. I was releasing stress hormones a lot, mainly for being annoyed. I didn't get very anxious and very angry, but I got annoyed at a lot of things. So where are you self-sabotaging? Because every time you use that self-deprecating humor, every time you have a negative thought, you self-sabotage, you become your own worst enemy. Every time you do that, you're literally changing your DNA, and you're also causing disease in your body. Your body can't be healthy in a negative state of mind. It cannot be healthy in mental illness. And anxiety and depression is mental illness. And there's such a huge stigma about it, and you gotta let that go. You've got to get the help that you need. Leila, you're still with me, my dear. I love it. Hi, Donna. We need the help. That's why, so many groups right now are saying, let's remove the stigma. But, let's talk about that for a sec. I'm talking tonight just because I'm on fire. The stigma about mental health, it's a real thing. If you go and get services for mental health, it's now a permanent part of your medical records. It now has an impact on getting life insurance. It has an impact, which is why a lot of people hold back. Like they'll say, well, I'm not going to go to a mental health professional because now it's going to be on my record. Okay, that's going to remove you from certain careers even. It's going to change everything for you. So that's why there is this stigma, because there are repercussions. And hopefully some things are going to be lifted so that people can get the help they need and not have fear. One of the things that I do with my clients, when I am working with a client that I know needs deeper therapy than what I do, I'm a coach, I'm not a therapist. I work present to future. And yes, we'll touch on things in the past to switch them and move with them. But if there's something deep there, I'll say, I think it would be really great if you saw a therapist, if you worked with a professional therapist or psychologist. And when I share that with people, I also share that the first one you go to may not be the right fit for you. So feel free to shop around. There are a lot of different, I'm going to call them flavors, but like, I've talked to so many different psychologists. Every single one of them has got their own twist because they have their own experiences and their own studies that they've done and their own research that they've done. You need to find the person that works for you. And maybe the first person, it's just like coaching. Not everyone is ready to go on the fast track with me and be my client. And I'm really upfront in the strategy session to make sure that we are a good fit. And very rarely has it not been a good fit. In 10 years, there's only been 2 times that I didn't feel it just, for whatever reason. So most of the time, I'm just very honest, like, yeah, this we can go. This is going to work. You're primed and ready for what I'm going to share with you. So do the same thing with a mental health professional. If you need a therapist or psychologist, shop around until you find the right one. So self-sabotage, self-deprecating humor, it's funny, I do it, but make sure that you're not repeating it so much that you are actually it, like you're doing it. And how does that voice in your head become your own best friend? I work on that a lot with my clients. One whole session of my course is just on mind, because everything I share with you, it's not rocket science. The pressure-free method is not rocket science. It's a very simple method. However, you've got years and decades of habits of reaction. Someone gave me some love on that. Thank you. Years and decades of habits of reaction. You started to react when you were inside your mother's womb. So yeah. Oh, I lost my connection. Oh, it came back. You never know when you're out of town what kind of connection you'll get. So I hope this has been helpful. It's time for you to become your own best friend. If you want to connect with me, speakwithL.com is the fastest way to get to my calendar. Please check out my website. There's so many goodies on my new website. So that's lingles.com. And yes, my husband is related to Little House on the Prairie, Laura Ingalls. So that's pretty cool. And that's how you can remember how to spell the name. So thanks so much for all that love and for being on here with me tonight. I really appreciate you. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you so much. Feel free to share this out to someone you know who self-sabotages, someone who talks negatively about themselves. Let's help them. Let's truly help them. So thank you so much love tonight. I love it. Wishing you all a beautiful, pressure-free night. Bye.